This is Hackcessible, an annual competition that began in Sheffield, UK in 2018. It unites students and disabled challengers to tackle crucial accessibility issues that existing technology simply doesn't solve. The 2024 edition of the UK event aimed at university students kicked off in October, bringing together over 60 participants. The health technology market is vast, and institutions like the UK's National Health Service provide many assistive devices. However, these solutions are often mass-produced for efficiency. They prioritise basic mobility and safety, but fail to meet a disabled person's unique individual needs. When it comes to quality of life, things like pursuing a specialised hobby, cooking or career-specific tools, those needs are often considered lower priority. This is the gap that Hackcessible fills. At the UK competition, we addressed 8 unique challenges from disabled people. They were diverse, ranging from aids for a visually impaired chef to custom tools for a makeup technician. The core of every Hackcessible event is the principle of co-design. For the Hackcessible India model, students dive deep into detailed case studies, using the documented experience of a real person as their primary expert guide. In the UK, challengers actively participate in the design process, becoming the agent of the solution, not just a client. Their insight and expertise, often built upon years of living with a disability, is crucial to the process. Having formed teams around each challenge over the following months, students collaborated closely with their challenger, attending specialised workshops and receiving mentorship from engineering experts. This time was spent exploring and refining potential solutions through detailed design, all building towards one intense prototyping weekend, the make-a-thon. Over 48 hours, the teams built, iterated and tested their prototypes, finally presenting their innovative devices to a panel of judges. The process doesn't end there. Many teams continue to refine their solutions, hoping to take their unique prototypes from the workshop and bring them to a wider market. Hackcessible is about more than just technology. It's about partnership, empowerment, and turning impossible challenges into brilliant personalised solutions. Next, we will see these partnerships in action as we showcase the stories and the innovative prototypes developed for all 8 challenges from this year's event, followed by reflections from the students and challengers who brought them to life. Sarah has multiple sclerosis and brought 2 challenges to Hackcessible with the aim of improving the day-to-day experience of people with MS. Bioengineering student Sanvi talks us through the first challenge.
Hi, I'm Sanvi. I'm a bioengineering student going into my 3rd year, and I was part of the team working on Sarah's challenge. Sarah lives with multiple sclerosis, which is a painful condition that affects her nervous system and makes daily tasks such as reaching up and down or brushing and washing very difficult. One of Sarah's main requests was to build something to help her brush her hair without straining her arms. Before we started working on the project, we had to better understand Sarah's needs. So over several different conversations with Sarah, we came up with a list of key considerations. 1, the product had to be durable and drop-proof. 2, it had to be cost-effective. 3, it had to be lightweight. 4, it had to be portable and easy to carry. And 5, it had to be easy to use and repair if anything broke. One of the tools that we developed for Sarah was a 3D printed adjustable hairbrush. So we 3D printed the custom hairbrush handles here in the iForge, and we connect them together with a friction hinge to make a complete hairbrush that was adjustable and easy to use.
Sarah's second challenge aimed to redesign a walker to be suitable for Sarah and other young adult users, creating a product that better reflects their needs and preferences. Initially, the team explored designing a fun and engaging walker from scratch, but they later decided to enhance a pre-existing walker with young adult-friendly features. Local mobility equipment provider Ross Care kindly donated a walker for the students to work on. The team modified the frame and wheels, as well as adding some stylish decoration and practical attachments, such as holders for an umbrella and a cup. Neil, a medical device entrepreneur who brought Sarah's challenge to Hackcessible, was particularly impressed with the walker, having attended the final event. For him, it was the winning presentation, and he's spoken to the students about taking the project further. After one of the team's design images was shared, they received offers of support from an American professor and a Chinese manufacturer. Feedback from others working with disabled children was also very positive. Sarah added, "A massive well done to all the teams. I think the students involved are all going to go far in their chosen careers." Shopping whilst visually impaired is made easier for Robert with apps on his phone providing auditory feedback. But he can't hold his phone and his basket, grab items and keep hold of his guide dog. Students were tasked with designing a way for Robert to use the apps hand-free without making him a potential victim of theft. Here's Philip to explain more.
Hi, my name is Philip and I was part of Robert's team. Our goal was to help Robert shop on his own. This has been a challenge for a big part of his life because he suffers from Stargardt's disease, which is a genetic condition that causes progressive central visuals. After talking to Robert, we understood his need of being able to shop independently. So we decided to make him a discrete phone holder that would allow him to store his phone around his chest and scan his surroundings. This work ensured that he could use an AI app to scan groceries and identify what he was looking at without using both hands. Feedback was really important, especially since Robert knew really well what he needed. So we decided to talk him through each major decision we would encounter to not risk leaving him out and making an uninformed decision. As such, we would contact him in advance right after meetings of our own so that we could meet in person. We started prototyping later than we would have wished, as we had to change our idea due to complexity, time, and budget constraints. We had challenges in deciding between design approaches. Choosing one over another would have required totally different hardware designs, but thankfully, despite later scratching this idea, we were able to talk through each option and weigh our options according to thought-out criteria. After all, honest and respectful communication, especially between the disciplinary teams, makes a major difference in how your project progresses.
Since Robert was unable to attend the final event, students later went to the Sheffield Royal Society for the Blind to present him with a finished product. A simple but effective solution that means Robert can shop with confidence. Frank loves cooking, but being blind makes it difficult for him to plate his dishes in an appealing way for guests.
Cooking, even for people with sight, is a form of identity, right? It's a form of expressing oneself. Culinary is the art. Can you imagine someone giving a very sloppy piece of artwork? Frank was struggling with that. He wanted to show that he really put in the effort in his cooking for his guest.
So at Hackcessible, they ask people in the community, like with disabilities or like impairments, what do you need that isn't on the market which could improve your quality of life? It's a challenge which was to create a device which could help them plate food both safely and also aesthetically. And so we came up with this.
Thanks is not a big enough word to show my appreciation. It was mainly getting the food from the receptacles that I've cooked them on and getting it to the plates. And then we came up with these templates. Now, these templates were basically the solution for presentation. That's Braille. They needn't have done that, but they went to the trouble of doing it. And they even obviously took the fact that I could actually use Braille. And that was the sort of added bonus to have that on the side. It just chuffed me, really. It's been an experience that I'd recommend anybody else to get involved with.
That if anyone watching this on like social media thinks this is a cool project and they have something that they could help with, I would definitely say reach out to the university, reach out to like one of us or the team, and let's see what can happen.
Carol, who has been totally blind since birth, challenged the team to create a way for her to visualise her surroundings using her sense of touch.
The challenge was to try and convert pictures into real time, into like tactile or braille or something that you can feel the outline, not necessarily the detail, just like the outline of something so you could feel what shape it was. Obviously it's a lot to ask.
We made something kind of new, so there wasn't much out there to help us on the internet and to look at.
The solution had two parts. First, the students created software that converted the images to binary pixels, identifying the edges of objects. They then created a prototype e-braille device that could convert the pixels into raised pins that can be read through touch like braille. Current technology, such as the Monarch, can display preset e-braille images that someone sighted has manually created and uploaded to the device. But if the student's design to translate live images into the tactile representations can be developed into an end product, it has the potential to change how blind and visually impaired people experience the world.
The actual idea is brilliant, especially the fact that it's like the Monarch, but it's a lot cheaper to make, and also the fact that it can just go on your iPhone and use the speech as well. So you've got braille and speech, which is brilliant.
We learned a lot and we got a lot of new skills and that kind of stuff, so it was really skills, yeah.
It's a really, really good concept, and I think that if they carry on working at it, you just never know what might happen one day.
The students are now talking to various industry partners about how they might develop their idea. I'll let Carol introduce her second challenge.
This was about colours, because I've never seen colours, and to get an idea of what each colour is.
Carol worked with 4 first-year students from biomedical, electrical and aerospace engineering. They designed a device that gives audio descriptions for colours.
This is like an MP3 type thing with buttons on it. Each button tells you what colour is like, so like more of a feeling rather than a colour. So they've all got different descriptions on them, and I found the descriptions really, really good. And I even said if you wanted to even make the next stage, which would be to kind of like put your own concept of it as well as what's there. So think of what colour actually means to you. Even though it's personal, it's very, I like the voice. I like the way it's described, and it really brings it vividly as much as it can, what the colour is to me and what it could mean. And now I realise that when I hear colour, I can actually think of those descriptions, so it's really good.
Lou is a fantastic makeup artist who loves her job. Sadly, makeup products aren't often accessible for her, and she often experiences pain and fatigue. Alicia explains the problem and how her team went about solving it.
Hi, my name is Alicia. I am now a third-year bioengineering student, currently doing my year industry placement, and I was part of Lou's team. Lou is a makeup artist that unfortunately suffers from Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. A lot of the issues that she had was with holding makeup brushes and makeup appliances for a long time due to strain on her joints. And this was our main challenge. What we did was that we primarily focused on what Lou wanted and what Lou faced as issues, and tailored our solutions based off of those. We would always reach out to Lou. We asked her lots of questions. We made sure that we understood every single issue that she had. We all separated tasks and kind of had brainstorming sessions of coming up with these different solutions, ideas, and thinking everything through really before we actually start and spend time and money and effort and resources on physical prototypes that might not end up being the best result. A lot of what we did was making simpler prototypes out of simpler products so that we could get the idea across. The next step was combining and picking and choosing which ones would be best. We reached out to Lou because at the end of the day, she will be the primary user, and we got her perspective on them, her ideas, and then we tweaked a little bit based on feedback that she gave us. We had a list of 3 final products that we were going to work on and give her by the end of our challenge, and we were able to give her a solution that would help her because this was our primary goal and this is what we were doing all of this for. At the end, it was really nice to see how much she appreciated our design and how much she loved it. That moment was really precious to me, that all of our hard work as a team was put into making a design that was going to be really helpful for her and that was going to really improve her daily life. It's something that she struggled with quite a lot.
Mel works in a special education primary school and wanted the children to have access to technology that isn't distracting or too expensive for their parents. Students worked with Mel to come up with a prototype. At the final judging, Mel's team came third for their durable, safe, and most importantly, affordable communication device for non-verbal primary school children. Lou's team came second for their fold-up support table and various small devices for Lou, who suffers from fatigue-related symptoms as a makeup artist. Lou was really pleased with the results and came in to support the team both days. But in first place was Frank's team, with their plating assistance device for blind cooks, a well-deserved achievement for the team, who did a fantastic job. Let's hear from some of our challengers and students with their reflections on Hackcessible, what they got out of it, and what their advice is to anyone wanting to get involved.
Hackcessible was a great experience. I got the chance to work and meet with new people, meet Carol, who was lovely.
It's amazing to see how the enthusiasm of it, because it is complicated to do, so it's quite a task to ask, really.
It was really fun. I got exposed to different perspectives and different experiences from mine. So many interesting individuals full of design ideas, and also the challengers themselves. It's really lovely to meet them in real life and kind of provide solutions that really help their daily life.
I think Hackcessible is a really rewarding experience. We learn a lot from teamwork, hands-on experience, but also from working with different engineers from different disciplines.
I would say the biggest skills that I gained were user-centered design. You have the user front and center, and everything that you do is primarily focused for them and to make the best design possible for them. We wanted to give Lou a better experience in her everyday life, having those conversations with her, having that back and forth, doing the different drafts and prototypes.
Before Hackcessible, I was quite unaware of many nuances that vary for a person who lives with a different set of abilities. In the process, I came to understand how to better approach a problem and to really think it through when asking myself if I really am solving the problem or just adding a band-aid, or worse yet, creating other small problems. Sometimes the best solution is just the easiest one.
Another good skill that I gained was definitely time management, because I had other projects as well, university assignments and modules and all that kind of stuff. So to have different projects at the same time, what to focus on and which deadlines to prioritize, I think is really good and really transferable skills now that I'm doing year in industry and actually working in a company.
I really enjoyed getting together with everybody and building our own prototypes.
Definitely the hackathon. It's really fun because we got to make our designs at that point, tackling really challenges that would come, brainstorming on the spot and challenging and problem solving on the spot, and also having Lou there to give us more feedback on our final designs.
The hands-on experience with engineering and talking to clients and understanding what they want to do, and you get to help people at the end of the day, which is really good.
I was happy to see the challengers' reactions to everything that we had built.
Just having the opportunity to create something that meets the needs of someone in the community is exactly why I chose to study engineering in the first place.
Just do it. Don't feel afraid that you can't come up with designs. Your first draft is almost never the best. And I would say just reach out for the opportunities, be open-minded.
I would say be open and try to invest more than just time in this project. It can mean so much for the people you'll be able to help.
You can gain many new friends, sharing life experiences and sharing perspectives and working well as a team to come up with a good solution that will help people at the end of all of this.
As engineers and scientists, you can choose to add real value.
Every real life project that you do will have obstacles. You will face challenges, you will face issues. It's something that you can't really shy away from. I think with good collaboration, good communication between team members and with Lou as well, we were able to overcome those challenges.
I think it's brilliant. I think it really gets people thinking about technology and what can happen in the future. You know, if you carry on with it after that, you just never know where it might end up.
If you'd like to be involved in Hackcessible as a student or challenger, or if you'd even like to run your own version, why not get in touch at hackcessible@sheffield.ac.uk.